Today on Community Connections, we'll be down on the farm in the city. Our focus is urban agriculture and farmers markets where fresh and so clean, local and healthy foods are available to help families access quality and affordable foods. First up, we learn how the University of Maryland Extension Service brings their campus to the community, especially with programs to help families grow their own food, prepare healthier meals, and connect with resources to help stretch their food dollars, which is very important. Let's go ahead and welcome Antonio Silas, Neith Little, and Albert Lewis of the Baltimore City Cooperative Extension. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely. So tell us about the program, what you guys are all about.
So if you're not familiar with Extension, we're a part of the Cooperative Extension program at the University of Maryland. That's under our College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. And the work that we do is inherent in our name. We are an extension of the university out into the various communities with which we serve. And we prioritize bringing research-based practices to our various communities. And both Neith and Albert are the faculty members that deliver that collective knowledge to Baltimoreans.
Right. So, Neith, tell us about these programs and what you guys actually do.
Sure. So I'm the local agricultural extension educator, but we also have educational programs for gardeners. That's the Master Gardener program folks may have heard of. There's 4-H youth development, which Albert teaches. There's nutrition, particularly for people who benefit from SNAP benefits, as well as others through canning classes and food safety classes. There's personal finance education, technology access, watershed protection, leadership, and other topics that are relevant to people's daily lives.
Now, Albert, why are these classes important? You know, especially when we talk about living in a city, we don't think that we need these classes, but why are they important?
Well, in terms of Baltimore City 4-H youth development, we provide enrichment and development and youth development for our youth, because as you in the news, you hear a lot of negative aspects of youth, but there's so many positive things our youth do. So Baltimore City 4-H provide lots of opportunities for our youth to give back to the community, to learn a variety of different things, and also to be promoted themselves and show Baltimore City, our community, that our youth are doing positive things.
Yeah, absolutely. Antonio, how does the work differ in the city than other parts of the state?
Great question. So when you typically think of extension, it's largely a rural enterprise. Way back in the day, back in 1862, agriculture was the big enterprise of the United States, and extension was largely relegated to spread out rural areas. And extension was a vehicle and a mechanism for universities to bring that knowledge to the agriculturalists, to the people that were in the fields doing that work. The difference with urban extension is obviously we're not in that scenario. Many people are doing similar types of work. However, I think Baltimore in particular is in a unique place because a lot of the urban agriculturalists may not necessarily come from a traditional education background. So we're able to assist in some manner in bridging that gap with the collective knowledge of our faculty members, and not only just in the area of agriculture, also environment and natural resources. We have 4-H, as was stated previously, family and consumer sciences. We have the expanded food and nutrition education program and SNAP education, which both focus on nutritional education. So I would say that, in short, our programming really mirrors the needs and priorities of people in Baltimore City. And once again, we bring that research-based background to specifically solve different challenges, issues, and support communities with those relevant considerations.
Got it. Neith, you're inside the classroom, like given this instruction, right? So share a success story that you've seen.
Sure. So it's my job to educate farmers and to provide them professional development, technical assistance, organized classes. For example, I teach about nutrient management, and not the nutrients that we eat, but the nutrients that the plants then eat. So when you buy a bag of fertilizer, right, there's all these words and numbers on the bag. And one of the things I teach farmers is how to interpret those numbers. And usually there's 3 numbers, you know, 10, 10, 10, many gardeners are used to. And the first number, that represents the nitrogen in the bag, the second number represents the phosphorus, and the third number represents the potassium. These are all nutrients that plants need. So I teach this to the farmers. And one time, about a year later after a class, I was visiting a grower out at Real Food Farm in Clifton Park, and she said, you know what, I remembered what you taught me about those numbers, and I taught it to our AmeriCorps workers, and now they know what those three numbers mean. And that, to me, is the best as an educator, when someone not only remembers and uses what I've taught them, but then shares it with others.
Yeah. Albert, how can residents in the community get involved in your programs?
So you can go to our website, which I do not know offhand. Sorry about that. Our phone number, 301-226-7410. And also stop at our office. We're at 6615 Rochester Road, Suite 201. We love when people come in and we can talk to them face to face. So and another success story, piggyback on what Nif was saying, I have a friend who started a tea business after attending one of her classes. So.
Oh, wow.
That is a great, that's a great success story for her.
In Baltimore City?
In Baltimore City, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
All right. Well, do you care to share where it is?
Well, it's online, and I don't remember the website. So, but he had a tea tasting last weekend actually at a non gallery in Baltimore City. But other success stories in terms of 4-H, we have youth. Actually, we have a couple of youth. In this May issue of Baltimore Magazine, the 18 under 18 youth, with a young lady, Chloe Jones. She was selected on the 18 under 18, doing big things in Baltimore City. And last year, in 2024, another one of our youth, he was one of 18 under 18, Rashad Coleman also. So we have a lot of success stories in Baltimore City. Our youth are doing a lot of good things in the community. So.
That is excellent. Last question, Antonio. Why is this so important here in the city?
I think it's important for a few reasons. Our very talented educators are going out in the community once again and extending the knowledge from the University of Maryland out in that respective community. So we're a little different from a traditional classroom model. I think that the different topics that we cover in environment and natural resources and youth development and education and urban agriculture and financial literacy are all critical things that people of Baltimore should know about. And we're also a very collaborative group. None of our work is done with a savior complex or from an ivory tower, so to speak. We literally cannot do our work without the support of the various communities that we serve. And lastly, I would say we are tasked with bringing research-based knowledge to the various people that we serve. So there's no agenda there. We're really just trying to make the lives of people in Baltimore City better through the educational services that we provide.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Thank you. University of Maryland Extension offers something for everyone, from youth development programs to financial literacy to urban farming. Extension is a great resource for your family. To learn more, visit extension.edu/location/Baltimore City. Coming up, a close-up look at an urban farm in the heart of Baltimore City.
Puede que no lo vean venir. Es la prediabetes y atrapa a 1 de cada 3 adultos. Es posible que ni siquiera sepas que lo tienes, pero tú te puedes escapar. Toma la evaluación de riesgo de prediabetes en 1 minuto para conocer tu estado de salud. Con un diagnóstico temprano puedes cambiar el resultado y prevenir o retrasar la diabetes tipo 2. Sé tu propio héroe. Disponible en cualquier tipo de dispositivo móvil en podriatenerprediabetes.org.
Life's daily battles are not meant to be fought alone.
We're not powerless, so long as we don't lose sight of what's important.
Don't be afraid to seize that moment to talk to your friends.
Cloud, you okay?
Because checking in on a friend can create a safe space.
The first step on our new journey. You coming?
Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Seize the awkward. It's totally worth it.
Across Baltimore City, you'll see urban farms, some small, some big, some in parks, and some along the concrete streets. In Northwest Baltimore, you'll find Plantation Park Heights Urban Farm dedicated to sustainability, agriculture, community engagement, and environmental stewardship. Let's meet farmers Karma Francis and Tiara Matthews to share how they grow food and grow people in the Park Heights neighborhood. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. So tell us about Urban Farms.
Sure. So the Plantation Park Heights Urban Farm is a nonprofit in Baltimore City. We've been established since 2014. And just as you said, we're growing food, growing people, and growing our community.
Right. Why is that so important, especially in a neighborhood like Park Heights?
Park Heights is a neighborhood like many black and brown neighborhoods that suffers from something called food apartheid. There's not a lot of clean food access as well as locally grown food access to promote nutrients, getting into bellies of families and children throughout the neighborhood. So it's important for us to have this program, and so people in the neighborhood can actually have access to cleaner, greener foods.
And Carmen, does this also address food deserts that we see like in major cities like a Baltimore? We know there's food deserts around, so does your program help with that as well?
Absolutely. So we have multiple programs at the Plantation Park Heights where we distribute food around the surrounding cities of 21215, including our farmers markets and produce deliveries and giveaways that we do as well.
Let's talk about the youth. Of course, you know, youth in Baltimore get a bad rap for the most part, but there are youth doing positive things. So what programs do you have for youth?
We run a variety of programs. We do host Youth Works students, so we get about 25 students each summer. They train in urban agriculture, farmers market, and farm marketing. We also host the Urban Agriculture Leadership Academy in collaboration with Morgan State University, where we're able to take 10 students from Morgan State, 10 students from the neighborhood, and they train in financial literacy, urban agriculture, mental health, and a host of other different topics. We're also in collaboration with BSEC, the Baltimore Science and Environmental Collaborative. And today we actually have a youth training around climate and environment and weather. So making sure the young people who are in urban areas are prepared to be future leaders in environmental science, in urban farming, and farming, agriculture, and so many other industries that involves these things.
How many youth do you have right now? Do you know?
We have a lot of youth. We host programming at Falstaff Elementary and Middle, as well as several other community schools. So we have an after-school programming where kids come on a daily basis and are able to work and volunteer and get service learning hours. Then we host programming in the summertime that we're getting excited to launch coming up in the next coming weeks. And then we'll be hosting food demos throughout the area, as well as a host of other different trainings that you can find out online at our website, plantationparkheights.org, or just pull up at one of our produce giveaways on Thursdays. We're at 3811 Park Heights Avenue. If you pull up on a Thursday, you can get some free produce, take a tour, find out about our programming, and meet some of your local farmers.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, what type of food do you guys grow?
So we have all different types of produce, from brassicas to fruits. We also have an herb garden as well. Different herbs like mullein, thyme, all these things that you can make teas with, and that are also helpful for healing, like,
And we do a big focus on culturally appropriated foods. So being able to grow foods that are closely linked to people who live in the communities of Baltimore City, because there is a vast number of different types of people, ethnicities, cultures. So we want to make sure that we're growing fish peppers for our African American community. We have some Israeli artichokes that we're growing. We grow African eggplants, we grow jalapeno peppers, and so many different things to accommodate different communities around Baltimore City so that they can get the nutrients that they need that is closely linked to their DNA.
So since your food is grown locally, where can people buy this?
So we have 3 different farmers markets that you're able to access the Plantation Park Heights Urban Farm. So right now we are currently at Johns Hopkins Farmers Market just as vendors. On Thursdays, you'll see Tierra there running the stand with one of our youth. On Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we're also in June 4th actually, we start our Wednesday market.
Okay.
And that's in Druid Hill Park right next to the Rawlings Conservatory. And that's from 3:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And then on Saturdays,
There's more.
On Saturdays, we're actually on site from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. So on site at the Plantation Park Heights.
And all of this is affordable, right? That's the key, especially in a community like Park Heights or Druid Park. This is affordable stuff that people don't have to say, oh man, I just spent $200.
Absolutely. We also accept WIC and SNAP, EBT, for folks who aren't able to, or who
Keep it going.
for folks who are who have that benefit.
So you have 3 days of markets.
Yes. And then also a Thursday giveaway on site as well from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And that produce is free
And that's every Thursday.
every single Thursday,
Year round, or is it just during a certain season?
year round, all year round.
Okay. Awesome.
So we've been hosting free produce giveaways on Thursday since 2019, prior to COVID. And it's just to get nutrient-dense foods into the bellies of children and families in Baltimore City. And we don't only do food giveaways, but we actually do food literacy on that same day. So we do cooking demos and cook with the food that we give away to show people what they can do when they go home. So you may come up, get a tour, get a recipe, watch a cooking demo, get your produce, and then go home and get to work.
Got it.
And the great part about being on site too is you get to actually speak to your farmers. So if you don't know what to do with the produce, you can ask one of us and we can easily give you a recipe or explain, what is what and how to make it.
Got it. Last question, really quick, 15 seconds or so. Agri-hood, what's the definition of that?
You want to take this one?
AgriHub Baltimore is community shared agriculture and resources, an initiative and an institution in Park Heights, Baltimore City, empowering communities to be sustainable, grow their own food, and support youth to be able to do this, to grow the next generation of leaders in urban agriculture, sustainability, environmental, and food. And that's what we do, AgriHub Baltimore. AgriHub Trinidad and Tobago.
Thriving marketplace.
Yeah.
Got it. One more thing, where can folks learn more?
So you can go onto our website at plantationparkheights.com and also follow us on Instagram at plantationparkheights_UF, AgriHood Baltimore, and Facebook at AgriHood Baltimore. And everywhere. Just type it in Google.
You are everywhere. All right, we'll leave it right there. All right, ladies, thanks so much for joining us and sharing how Plantation Park Heights Urban Farms is helping with healthier families and community. Up next, we'll learn about the Maryland Farmers Market Nutrition Program so you can stretch food dollars and buy healthier, fresher local foods.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Food can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Who are you?
Your lungs.
We're quite proud of you.
Even though you quit smoking years ago, you may be at risk for lung cancer.
But with the routine screening, you can detect it early when it's more curable.
Listen to your lungs. Learn more at savebythescan.org.
fresh local produce not only tastes better, but it's better for you. There are more than 100 farmers markets across Maryland, and participating farmers can accept SNAP benefits. Sarah Servin from the Maryland Department of Agriculture joins us to share more about the Farmers Market Nutrition Program. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. So tell us about the nutrition program. What's that all about?
Yeah, so the Farmers Market Nutrition Program is for participants in the WIC program as well as lower resource seniors across the state of Maryland, and it connects those participants to local farmers, farmers markets and farm stands across the state. So you mentioned there's 100 plus farmers markets around the state where people can use these benefits and get local fresh produce.
I didn't realize there were 100 because I didn't realize the state is actually that big, but where are the majority of the farmers markets, do you know?
Most of them are in Baltimore City and Montgomery and PG County, but there are farmers markets and farm stands in every county across the state.
Got it. So how do people redeem these benefits that you just mentioned?
Yeah, so last year we transitioned this program from a paper check-based system to an electronic system, so folks can access their benefit from their cell phone or from a physical card, and they bring that to the farmer's market, and just like another card or payment system, the farmer would scan that, and then they would be able to purchase their fresh local produce from there.
We heard fresh, and we know it tastes better and it's better for you, but let's talk about the importance of just, you know, what you have in this basket that we'll get to, the importance of just freshness in general.
Yeah, I mean, farmers markets are a place where you will get local produce that you might find something different every week that you go there. The difference from getting something locally versus getting at the grocery store is that maybe it was harvested sometimes even that morning, sometimes the day before, and you're able to talk with the person who grew your food on a different level than what your experience is like at a grocery store.
Yeah, like if you went to a big chain store, you don't know like where
who grew it.
where it came from. It could have come from a different other places. So let's talk about what you got in the basket. What can folks expect to get when they go to a farmer's market?
Yeah, so I was able to stop at a farmer's market this morning on my way over.
See, you did say
I wanted
every day.
to make sure that I had the props. So you can really find anything from the way to start your garden. So I brought some basil plants and a little pepper plant here as well. To seasonally available local produce, I've got rhubarb for folks that maybe like strawberry rhubarb pie. You can get your fresh rhubarb at the market. I brought some kale, asparagus. And then something that I think is really interesting about farmers markets versus what you find in a grocery store is that you get the whole crop item. So I've got the carrots, but then also all the carrot tops, and the beets, and also the beet tops. So you can cook with all of this. You use the whole thing. Maybe you're paying the same amount you would with the grocery store, but then you get all of this extra produce as well.
Right.
And there's more goods in here. I just brought produce. Farmers markets are so diverse and expansive at this point where you can get fermented foods, you can get your breads, you can get your proteins, you can get a wide array of all of your shopping needs and even some artisanal things as well. But this is just kind of what I found today at the market. Like I said, it'll change from week to week, and you'll find strawberries and berries and melons and corn at different parts of the season as well.
Yeah, but when you're talking costs, like we could expect probably to pay maybe double at a chain grocery store versus a farmer's market, or have we done comparisons like that?
It'll depend, I think. It'll depend from market to market slightly. The cost might be a little bit more at a farmer's market than at a chain grocery store, but the quality. It will be, you'll notice the quality. And one of the benefits of the Farmers Market Nutrition Program and also SNAP and WIC is that those programs are also available at farmers markets, and you're able to really help to bring down the cost of those the produce. So you're able to get that high quality for slightly less using those nutrition benefits. And a lot of markets, including a number of them throughout Baltimore City, do Maryland Market Money as well, so that matches the benefit. So if you spend $10, then you ultimately get $20 to spend at the market.
How long has the program been accepting SNAP and WIC?
So the Farmers Market Nutrition Program has been around since 1992. So it's been around for a long time, and yeah, has been helping moms and families and older adults throughout the state since then.
So the majority of farmers markets are here in the city, Baltimore City. Now, I know of one that's close to downtown. Where are the other ones?
So the biggest ones in the city are the one that's under the JFX.
Yes.
Yep, that one, and at 32nd Street, Waverly. Those two markets are the biggest. You also heard from the from Plantation Park Heights. They have the 3 markets in the city as well. And then there's markets in Johns Hopkins, and we have a list of all of the farmers markets around the state on our website on marylandsbest.net, and you can find by county all of the farmers markets that are in your county.
And your program encompasses all of those markets?
Yep, so I manage the Farmers Market Nutrition Program and connecting and making sure that farmers are trained and ready to accept the benefit and feel excited to widen their client base as well.
We don't think farm when we think Baltimore. Like, how many farmers do you think that we actually have?
In the city, it's hard for me to fully know that answer. Yeah, I know that there's, at least in terms of farmers markets, there's around 10 or 12. And those farmers might come from Baltimore County, might come from as far as the Eastern Shore as well. But that farmers market, or at least the 2 bigger ones, really want to focus an emphasis on Maryland grown produce. And so they really highlight Maryland growers and folks across the state.
So if there was a farmer out there that wanted to take part in your program, how would that process look?
Yeah, they can reach out to me. I can share my contact information. They can go to marylandsbest.net and find the program information about Farmers Market Nutrition Program. And for a Farmers Market Nutrition Program, especially for farmers, my goal is to get as many folks authorized to accept the program as possible so that participants in the program have the most options for choice throughout the state. So once they get in touch with me, they do a training and we get them authorized.
Got it. Last question, is there a fee involved with that for the farmers, or is it just the program that they have to go through?
Yeah, there's no fee. It's free for farmers to participate. They can just, once they reach out to me and they do the training, then they become authorized for 3 years, and then they're good to go.
All right, Sarah, we'll leave it right there.
Thank you.
All right, well, it's summer, and that means fresh local produce is ready in your garden at local urban farms and at a farmer's market near you. My thanks to our guests, and thanks to local farmers for growing healthy foods.